where bond becomes
weak and fragile.
fragile. Okay, very good. So now let's see the definition, why the bone has become fragile, why the bone has become so much porous, why the density of the bone has been reduced so much. So now you can see in the first bond, it is a healthy bond. The density is thick, the bond density is normal. Looking at the second picture, you can see it's like honeycomb porous. The bond has become so much of porous. The density has been reduced so much. So osteoporosis is a metabolic. These are all the anatomy and physiologists. I think you all know. So what do you mean by osteoporosis? As you said already, osteoporosis is a metabolic bone disorder, right?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
In which the bones become very brittle and fragile from loss of tissue. Typically, the cause, it may be because of some hormonal changes or deficiency of calcium or vitamin. So as you all know, the compositions of bond are the main hormonal or the main vitamins which are responsible for the formations of the bond are calcium and vitamin D. You all know this. So if it is because of the result of the hormonal changes or the deficiency of the vitamin D and calcium, the bond become very fragile. So as you all know, there are 206 bonds. So you all know these bonds according to shape, size. And now for this topic, especially, we need to know the difference between compact bond and spongy bond. Compact bond are the outer layers of the bond. As you all can see from the images, can you see the compact bond are the outer covering, the outer layers of the bond, which have the thick density, and the spongy bonds are the inner layer of the bond, which are the porous part is known as a spongy bond, and then the compact one, they are the outer bond and the rigid one. Can you understand? So in this spongy bond, this osteoporosis, it's going to happen. So when you have osteoporosis, when your bones become very fragile and brittle, what will happen? Suppose if your mom, if your dad, or if anybody is above elderly, above 50 years of ages, if they have this osteoporosis, what are the chances? What may be the effect of after osteoporosis? Anybody?
Easy fracture
Ma'am,
or breakdown of bone.
yes, and unable to walk,
Yes, because of this,
and
they
like any affected area, unable to work properly.
yes. So the patient will have high chance of risk of fracture, and then because well, for this, the patient will have so much of pain again, even though the patient doesn't show any sign and symptoms until the bone breaks. The patient, of course, definitely will have some sign of pain. So structures of a long bone, you all know about this anatomy and physiology. And then in this, you need to know two things. Like we all have shells which are responsible for the formation and degradations. Even in bone, there are two types of cells, osteoclast and osteoblast. Okay, there are two, osteoblast and osteoclast. I won't understand all this. I'll just jump. Okay, there are two types of cells, osteoblasts and osteoclasts. These two cells are responsible for the formation of the bone and for the breakdown of the bone. How will you remember this? Osteoblast, B for building. So you will know when I ask osteoblast, you will say it is the cell which is responsible for building up of bone density. And when I say osteoclast, C for class, C, bone consumption. So they will consume the bone density. So do you know the difference between osteoclast and osteoblast by now? So what is osteoblast and osteoclast?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Osteoblast is for building.
And osteoclast is for
Consumption.
consumption of bone. So you will know by this mnemonic B and C. Osteoblast, B for building up, class, C for consumption. Osteoclast will consume the bone cell, bone density. They will absorb the bone, and then osteoblast, they will build up the bone. So these two, osteoblast and osteoclast, they goes in hand to hand. The production of osteoblast and the consumption of bone by the osteoclast, they goes in balance till your is still 30-40. But now what happened when you reach elder, when a person reach age of 50 plus, or even after menopausal, what happened? The activities of osteoclast, C for consumption, absorption, the activities of osteoclast are far more than the osteoblast, which is responsible for bone production. So what happened when the consumption is more than the building up? So what will happen? All the bone density, they started losing up because the action of osteoclast are more than the action of osteoblast. So what happened? All the calciums, minerals, vitamin present in the bone density, they have been reduced, and then the bone becomes so porous and fragile. So there is high chance of fracture. So this is the overall meaning of osteoporosis. So before you go for this disease condition, you should know one thing. So where is parathyroid gland present? The name itself, thyroid and para. So where is parathyroid gland present? Anybody?
In the
Beside the thyroid.
Yeah, beside the thyroid gland. So is this an endocrine gland or exocrine gland?
Ma'am, endocrine.
Endocrine. So what is the meaning of endocrine gland and exocrine gland?
Endocrine are, ma'am, ductless, means duct bearing gland, when others are ductless gland.
Again, one more difference, one more point, one most important point.
They help in overall development and growth of the body.
Yes, and
Hormone secretion, ma'am.
hormone secretion, which one, the endocrine or the exocrine?
Endocrine.
Endocrine. And so Banti, she said endocrine. Banti, she said which one is the one? Endocrine, is it ductless or duct gland?
Yes, ma'am, endocrine is the ductless.
Ductless. So why it is ductless endocrine? Because they are going to produce hormone.
Yes, ma'am, directly they produce the hormone.
Directly they produce hormones, so that is why they don't need any duct. But for this exocrine, they have to produce enzyme, so they need a duct. So that is why exocrine are known as the duct gland, because they are going to produce enzyme. So your parathyroid hormones are being produced by parathyroid gland. Parathyroid gland, can you see 4 small glands in under your thyroid gland? Can you see? They are the parathyroid.
Yes, ma'am.
So these parathyroid gland, they produce this parathyroid hormone. So what is the main function of this parathyroid hormone is this parathyroid hormone, they are responsible to check the amount of your calcium present in your blood. So suppose when you have a low amount of serum calcium in your blood, they are going to produce this parathyroid hormone. The parathyroid hormone, they will sense, okay, there is not enough calcium in your blood. So what will happen? They will signal and they will produce this parathyroid hormone. So once this parathyroid hormone signal, it will give signal to the bone that there is not much enough calcium in the blood. So please release some of your calcium from the bone. They will signal this. And now after the bone got this information, the bone, from the bone density from your bone, that is your compact, from your spongy bone, the calcium are being released because of the production of the parathyroid hormone. Why? Because there is less amount of calcium in your blood. So this is the responsibility of parathyroid hormone. So this parathyroid hormone, they have a huge influence on this osteoporosis, on this condition. Why? Because most of the cases, it's being the osteoporosis main result is being caused by parathyroid hormone. They keep on producing so much, like hyperparathyroidism. Those people who suffered from hyperparathyroidism, what they do, they produce many parathyroid hormone. Because of this productions of the too much of parathyroid hormone, all the calciums from your spongy bone, they start secreting to your blood. So what will happen if there is not enough calcium in your bone? What will happen? The bone will become porous. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is why the parathyroid hormone is important. So like why I am putting this slide in the first itself is because the treatment itself, we are going to give these parathyroid drugs. So that is why I'm putting the importance of this on the first itself. Okay. So now coming to the definition. So osteoporosis is a metabolic bone disorder where the bone density is decreases due to physiological and hormonal changes. Physiological, matlab aging. It may be because of aging. It may be because of your lifestyle, like obesity, smoking, alcohol, and it may be because of the hormonal changes like postmenopausal and then elderly ages. Resulting to porous bone causes the person at the risk of fracture. So coming to the etiology. So advanced is above 50 years. As I told you earlier, those elderly aged, they are at the risk of getting this osteoporosis. Because of this, why? Because of hormonal changes, because of physiological changes. Postmenopausal women, why postmenopausal women? Because after when a woman's achieve running out of time. Okay, this meeting will end in 10 minutes. Okay, let's continue for 10 minutes and I'll say you the link again. Okay. Now coming to the postmenopausal woman, why? When a woman's attain menopausal, it stops secreting estrogen, the hormone which is responsible. So when your estrogen production level is low, it influences on your thyroid hormone, parathyroid hormone. Because of this, the relationship between the parathyroid hormone, thyroid hormone, and iron calcium, because of this, the estrogen has a direct influence on them. With this, the bone become porous and the person has a high chance of developing osteoporosis after menopausal. Okay, family history and rheumatoid arthritis, low calcium diet. When you take a low calcium diet, and hyperparathyroidism, those persons suffering from hyperparathyroidism and ethnicity, they are the main causes for the osteoporosis. Medications like corticosteroids, it is even said that those who take medication like corticosteroids and anti-seizures, thyroid replacement sedatives, they are also at the high risk of getting this osteoporosis, alcoholism, and smoking. So these are all the causes of osteoporosis. So as I told you, the parathyroid glands are the endocrine glands which are located at the back of the thyroid. So they are responsible for the productions of the parathyroid hormone. So anybody tell me what is the function of parathyroid hormone?
Ma'am, it secretes when calcium level is very low in our body or bone.
In our blood, in the serum. Anything that is present in the blood is known as a serum. So you should say serum calcium level. When your body have low serum calcium level, so this parathyroid hormone, they are going to signal and they are going to absorb this calcium from your bone, and they are going to redistribute it into your blood. So now let's see the clinical manifestation. So what will be the clinical manifestation? Now tell me, so the patient is having this porous bone. So what will be the clinical manifestation? Of course, there will be back pain because there is fractures of the bone become porous and there is high chance of fracture. There is breakage, there is fractures in the bone. So there is high chance of having back pain. Stoop posture. Why stoop posture? Because the area of the bone where most of the fractures happen is at your ribs, it's your wrist, vertebral column, and your pelvis bone. These three are the most common area where fracture can be happening at any point of time. Why stoop posture? When your vertebral columns, they will lose height over time because the bone has become so porous and they started becoming decompressed. So that is why the patient started to have this stoop posture and then loss of height over time, brittle nail, and then bone fracture, especially at hip, wrist, and spine. And brittle bone over a mild stress, bending may cause fracture. As the bone becomes so porous, even a mild stress, the bone cannot tolerate. So there is high chance of getting fractures. Now, coming to the diagnostic evaluation, as I told you, the topic will be quite easy. So, about suppose if you have infection, if you have viral fever, you will go for blood tests. So likewise, osteoporosis, we need to go some evaluation, the gold diagnostic evaluation. So there is one that is most commonly used, the gold important, that is DEXA, dual energy X-ray absorptiometry. Is also, it is also used to measure your bone mineral density. So this is like your MRI or your CT scan. It has the same procedure. The only thing is that in CT and MRI, all your organs, all your tissues are being detected. But what happened in this DEXA, they will use some energy, and then they are going to measure your bone mineral density, how much of mineral and how much your bone density has been reduced. They are going to check through this. And then conventional X-ray can also be used if lots of calcium is less than, if your loss of calcium is less than 25 to 40%, and even CT spine, you can go for CT spine. So the most important one is DEXA, that is dual energy X-ray absorptiometry. So now, when you go for this DEXA, there is one important nursing responsibility that you should know. The patient should not take this calcium supplement 1 day prior the test. Why calcium? We should avoid taking calcium supplement 1 day before the test. Will it hamper the test?
No,
Yes,
ma'am, because the reading.
yes, ma'am.
Because
And no, ma'am, and also
yes, go on.
like in the real results.
They will hamper the test result because the patient are taking this. If the patient keeps on taking this calcium supplement, they are going to influence the amount of bone mineral density. It will hamper the test. So we should avoid the important nursing education, nursing responsibility is to taught patient not to take calcium supplement 1 day before the test. Okay, so the patient will go for this DEXA scan, and then there will be, when we interpret the test, there are 2 scores, T scores and J scores. So T score shows the amount of bone you have compared with the young adults of same gender with a peak bone mass. So what happened, they will have two interpretation, T score and J score. What happened in T score, in this score, your result will be compared with a adult of same gender. Suppose if I do a test and then I am a woman, so if I have to do my interpretation will be compared to to a woman who have the high bone mass. So this is the T score. So suppose if Aldrin go for test, so his test will be being comes under T score, but it will be compared with, suppose Aldrin Inamul. So it will be being compared with Inamul. Suppose if Inamul have high peak bone mass, that it will be Aldrin score will be being compared with Inamul score because they are of same gender. So it comes under T score. What happens in the J score is it reflects the amount of bone you have compared with other people in your age group and same gender. So in this, if your score is high, low, it will indicate further medical testing. So it reflects the amount of bone you have compared with other people. Suppose if I do the test, I will be being compared with male also, with a female also in the same age group. Okay. It may be of same gender. Okay. It may be of same gender, but I will be compared with different age group. So this is known as a J score. So DEXA test interpretation, it comes in 2, that is T score and J score. T score, it will compare with the same gender who have peak bone mass, and J score, it will be compared in the same age group with the same gender. Did you understand? So the one most important test for osteoporosis is DEXA scan. In interpretation, we have 2, T score and J score. The score will be compared with the same young adult of same genders with peak bone mass. And Z score will be compared with the people in your age group with the same gender. Did you understand?
Yes,
So this
ma'am.
is the World Health Diagnostic Criteria, normal bond, and then if you have osteoporosis, then it will be less than or equal to 2.5, and then if you have severe osteoporosis, it will have more than or equal to 2.5 with one or more facility fractures. So this is according to the World Health Diagnostic Criteria. Now I will end this meeting and I'll say you the link again. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.